Hello, so this is the short run guide where I'm just going to show you the clips. I'm actually talking about the updates, really good updates for Toa, a couple of changes they can make, and it'd be perfect. Thank you. So going into the Baboon puzzle room, the first changes we have on here, I thought would be good, but in my opinion, actually bad. So they removed 2 waves, but by doing that, is they basically put some of the annoying monkeys into other waves. So we just had a shaman there in my first wave, which you wouldn't normally get, which is super kind of annoying. They also made it that the cursed baboons and the baboon shamans now always take maximum damage from range attacks. However, they increased the HP. I think they did it by 2 or 3 times. So whereas usually I'll be able to one-shot them with my bowfer, now it takes 2 shots. I think with a blowpipe it takes 2 as well now. Which doesn't sound too bad, but as you'll start to see quickly, because I can't deal with them in one shot anymore, the throws start to stack up a lot. So shortly I'm going to have a lot of throws on me. I'm going to have to use the exploders to deal with them. So I think if they revert the changes, revert the health on the shamans back to how it was before, so they could be one shot, then this room would actually be really nice. And it'd actually be a nice puzzle room there. But having to deal with all these throwers is just super annoying. And this isn't a new change, but the throwers also drain your prayer when they attack you. So you can see I used a lot of prayer points in this room. And that's because of the amount of throws there on me. Now then, on to Baba. And this room has got the best changes in my opinion. So Protect from Melee now mitigates all damage at Baba. Apparently unless your invocations which reduce the effectiveness of protection prayers are activated. But he's not hitting me at all. In big teams, he will now spawn 1 to 4 baboons instead of 1 to 8. So if you're doing 8 mans, there'll be less baboons. If jungle japes is enabled, when you kill them, they'll now spawn 2 bananas. So you never really want to kill them in melee range anymore, because it's kind of hard to get away from these bananas. They spawn instantly, as you can see. Good news though is you can now range them or mage them, and it'll always max hit on them. So you'll always one-hit the baboons. Like so. You can also one-tick them, so you can just hit one and then hit the other. Reduces the delay on the weapon. Now this is also a big change to this room. So when you get the boulder thrown at you, you can now use a sarcophagi to tank the full potential of the damage. We'll do half damage to the sarcophagus, so if it hits twice, if you do that twice to one of them, it'll break open like normal. This is great for teams, especially uncoordinated teams. It means that one of you can take a boulder to one of you on the other boulder. Now let's go into the Kephri changes. Some very good changes here. I think they need to tweak it a little bit with what they've done here, just to make it just the perfect changes for what we want. So basically they made it so that soldier scarabs have had their magic defense reduced, which is great. It now incentivizes you to use a magic weapon on the soldier scarabs. All scarabs inside the Kephri encounter no longer scale the defense with raid level. Again, that's great. It means you can kill them easier, which we always like. This cheat is the one that I want them to tweak a little bit. So arcane scarabs are now guaranteed to move after certain buff attacks, regardless of whether or not they are hit. So that sounds great off the bat. However, I wish they changed it so it didn't work with thralls. So at the moment on P2 Kephri, you wouldn't want to use thralls, because when the thrall attacks with the arcane scarab, that counts as a hit. So if you do one fang hit and the thralls do 2 thrall hits, then the scarab will move. So you'll be just running around the room trying to hit him. I actually summoned thralls here just so I can highlight it to you. It's a really annoying change. They used to do that on Akkha as well. On the last phase, your thrall used to make Akkha move after a certain amount of hits. But they changed that, and hopefully they do the same to the Arcane Scarab. And then all the Kephri changes will be perfect here. So here you can see I hit it twice, the thrall gets a hit in as well, and he teleports away. They're really annoying. Keep the change, just get rid of the thrall effect. Do what you did with Akkha on the Enraged phase or the Come phase, and it'll be a good change. And here we have another great change. So we've added a deposit box. There's no more wasting pots or brews. If you're really good at prayer flicking, maybe you can bring in extra items for the first couple of rooms you want to do and then deposit them for the rest of the raid. Love that change. Keep that in. We now have the Crocodile puzzle room, which is good again. They made it so that you get more resources per container that you fill and deposit to the palm tree. So if I get hit on the way back, which I won't, it has less of an impact on team raids. So now in duos, if I get hit one time by poison on the way back to the tree, we can still do the tree in 4 phases. So you see it normally gives you 50% resources, it's now giving me 57%. Another great change, well done. For the Zebac fight himself, the only update they put was Zebac's waves have smarter interactions with pushback. I don't really know how that works. I'm not going to get hit by a wave just to demonstrate it. I think it just means that if you get pushed back, you can escape quicker. Means you have less chance of getting drowned with all those little crocodiles over there. So good change. Now then for the puzzle room for Akkha, or the Path of Het. They've slightly reduced the hit points on the obelisk. Another great change. If you haven't got that high mining level, I used to be able to get your 1-downs, or your yeah, you used to be able to get your 1-downs, which is great. That's what we want. It's a puzzle room. Why should you have to do mirrors twice? It's not that hard, and it's a great change for everyone. And then every change for Akkha is actually really, really good for everyone. So Akkha now only protects against the same style that he's attacking with. So he always starts off melee, so he'll be protected melee. Which now means that if you haven't got a staff, you can still butterfly him with the boffer, or you can stand on the outside while someone else butterflies. And you can now range 2 out of the 3 phases, just like you can mage 2 out of the 3 phases. So basically it means a quicker Akkha, more DPS, which is a great change. You won't need to use your trident off the swamps or off the seas. If you have a boffer, you'd be using a boffer. Really, really good change. Akkha's stat drain effect now only affects combat skills. I don't think I've ever seen a stat drain, so I always have salt, but that's interesting, I guess. His special attack now carries 7 attacks instead of 6, which is good. Means you can make more mistakes while butterflying and whatnot. Which means you get more DPS in. If a stay vigilant invocation is enabled, Akkha will only swap style he's attacking with when he uses a special attack. So again, less of him swapping attacks. So this is really, really good. And then for the Enraged phase, there's a lot less white bowls. Which is another great change. One of the most annoying things about this room was dying on the come phase. It can be really frustrating, wasting 20 minutes of the raid just to die to a little white ball. So I like that. Also, one of the changes we did with Akkha, which is really good, is reduced his effectiveness of attacks if you're praying the correct style. So your protection prayers now mitigate more damage from Akkha's basic attacks. So if you wanted to, you see I just got hit a 1 there. So this is really, really good. Usually on the melee phase, if you're tanking him, he'll do a lot of DPS to you. That's no longer the case. So now we're getting into the white ball phase, or cum phase, as it's commonly known. You can see there's a lot less white balls. You can still have to be like aware of them. You still have to move. But you don't need to be anywhere near as paranoid as before. There's a lot less chance you're gonna get stacked out, which would be super annoying. It's happened to me multiple times, and every time it happens, I get a bit angry. I'm like, "Urgh." So that's great. And now on to the final changes. I can't actually see it on the changelog, but apparently the lightning skulls that fall can no longer appear on top of the obelisk or right underneath the warden. I think it was Sicknerd or Skillspecs that died on his hardcore Iron Man this way, so that's a great change. And then the changes that I'm not too happy with, but I'm biased. They've reduced the weighting and the... So the good one is they reduced the weighting of the Lightbearer Osmond and Fang. So for instance, if you're doing 400, which I like to do, there's a less chance when I do get a purple that it's going to be a Lightbearer or a Fang, which is great because I just need a Missouri mask. That's what I want. But they have reduced the drop of all purples across a higher raid level than 300, which I don't like because I like Tower because of the amount of purples you'd see. But if it's healthy for the game, then I think they've made the right choice. And then they've also added a new jewel called the Jewel of a Mascot, which upgrades the Chaos Partisan for exclusive use in Tower. So it's slightly less effective against Scarabs, but it's got a really good stab bonus and strength bonus. So I think it's for irons really that don't have a Zamorak and Hasta, or if you don't have a Fang, then you can use this jewel instead, which is great for mid to the higher level of players. So I like that change. And the final thing I almost forgot to mention was in all raids they've reduced the amount of herbs you're receiving. They want the seed prices to go back up. So for instance in Chains of Zebac, they made it so that you get less herbs and more seeds. This is not a change I like. I liked getting the raw herbs. You used to get a lot of herbs. Let's say you're going to do a load of farm runs. But maybe a lot of skillers will like that, so good for them, I guess. Alright, thank you for watching. Take care.